Hey, peacemakers, it's your girl Dawn Stone, also known as the Conflict Chick, here with a live today on YouTube. So, on Tuesdays, I like to consider these Teacher Tuesdays where I spend time delivering that helps you based on what you've told me you needed. So, as a parent, as a advocate for diversity, equity, inclusion, as a college professor, as a mom, as a divorcee, as a sister, I'm going to say today's topic is really near and dear to me because it involves the people that I love more than anyone else on the planet. They're my children. And so today I'm going to talk to you. Let me get a little closer here. Today I'm going to talk to you about ways that you can properly advocate for your kid. And I call this 10-minute tip because we're not going to be here all day. So if you want additional information at the conclusion of this video, be sure to like, subscribe, follow, DM, message me. I'm here. So I want to start out with a little narrative. So, as the mother of three amazing humans, all who are neurodivergent, meaning we all have different skills, assets, and opportunities in the classroom and outside the classroom. So, this is my third bountifully beautiful, exquisite, brilliant, bright kid. Okay. So, I've had two girls and a boy. And so, the thing that I want to talk about today is regardless of who you have in your nest, in your community, you have the power. So I'm going to talk to you about what that power looks like. Okay. So I will start with this. My children, each and every one of them have had their own unique challenges inside the classroom. So we're going to go in the classroom with this one, and I'll go outside the classroom next time. But in the classroom, I have one child that's a what do I call it? People pleaser, like her mom. As a people pleaser growing up, she was always entertaining, very much being what I call my tree hugger child. She was the one advocating for people, making sure people felt comfortable, seen, and heard. And what happened in that process is she became less visible and very exhausted just from holding everyone else up. So, things I would say for a parent that has a child or maybe an adult or loved one, a partner that possesses those particular traits, being a super people pleaser, the first thing we have to do is check in on that person on a regular basis and get them to understand that no matter what their answer is, you're going to love them anyway. And also the people as a teacher, if I notice a student who is a super people pleaser, as a people pleaser, I'm going to interrupt as much as I possibly can. So you as a parent can do the same thing. When you see their friends taking advantage of them, they're the ones always giving away their candy, their goods, their treats, and it's not being reciprocated. Teach your children the value of reciprocity. Okay, that reciprocity means I give you this pen, maybe you'll issue me this pencil. And so we really want to get them in the habit of understanding what healthy relationships look like. Okay, so that in itself is something that's healthy for them and also healthy for you. All right, teaching them those boundaries, which is why I always say in my business, hold boundaries, not grudges, because eventually people who are people pleasers, especially your children, as they grow up, they may become pretty resentful for the way that they've been treated by other people. And sometimes that splashes on us as parents. So now let me move on to my second child who has a very introverted, enjoys learning, but learning at their level, and also is a really extreme introvert. So, very introspective, very much a reflective learner. And I knew this as a child. So, if you have a young child, especially that seems a little different from everyone else, or maybe socially awkward in the classroom or with their friends or the community, even their own family, I would say go ahead and get that child their supports now. So, let me talk about what some of these supports look like. And this actually goes for my people pleasing child as well. Therapy is a great thing. Therapy allows them to grow and to understand who they are as they are constantly evolving, just like an adult. I also recommend therapy for adults. Absolutely changes your life. It's transformative. So when you have a child who is maybe an introvert or has some quirks about them, maybe they're just socially different, right? Pull them aside and allow them to have that therapist, because sometimes that therapist will give them tools to help them through their day. Sometimes people are introverted because it's their personality. Other times people are introverted because they've been conditioned to be introverted. And then what about those who are introverted because of some childhood experience that wasn't pleasant for them? So, regardless of the fact, regardless of the reason, it's important for you as a parent to be very observant of your kids and introduce them into those spaces and those tools and supports early. Now, let me walk over to my third child. I have a son who happens to be autistic. And when you look at it, it's a autism to alike. So people will go and look at the movie Rain Man. Your son, we're like, no, stop believing the olive now. The spectrum and of the autistic people that I know, none of them are the same. No two are the same ever. And it's just like regular, what we will call run of the road people. No two of us are the same. So the thing about neurodivergence as a difference, I need us to normalize that. Each and every one of us is neurodivergent in some way because our brains think, move, process differently. So do not hold other people hostage because of something you do not understand. All right. I have 3 more minutes to get this 10 and 10 done. So now I'm going to talk about the 10 things you could use to assist your children who may have these differences. All right. Or any differences. It could be a physical difference. It could be a mental health disorder. It could be a substance use disorder. It could just be a personality difference. It could be an upbringing. Maybe they were born in one side of the country and then you take them to another country or another part of the country. It's all different. So the 10 things I'm going to tell you now, grab your pen and paper, pause the video if you need to, but I want you to become the best advocate for your child or children. All right. And sometimes if you're a young adult, best advocate for you. Number one, know thyself. So observe, observe, observe. Write down the things you see. Keep accurate records and notes, okay? Because that is important whenever we go to the evaluation mode. They need to see people in different spaces and all of their modalities. So your children are different away from you, believe it or not, but a lot of their neurodivergence stays consistent. So if you notice that your child is organizing pencils and pens for a reason, or no reason at all, make note of it. And I will tell you, number two, don't keep secrets. Be honest about where your child is and the things that you are witnessing, even if you only witness it once. Keep a journal. That's three. Keep a journal of everything that you are experiencing, any questions you have, because when you're in with their primary care physician or a specialist, you can open up that journal and go directly to that day and time when you observe that behavior and ask about it. All right, that's number three. Number four, rest. Know that there is nothing wrong with your child. Your child has everything right with them. The issue is mediocrity. We are mediocre as a people, and that is by design. So your child has some superpowers that you now have to ignite and basically explore. You'll have to do all four. So be good to yourself on that. That's number four. Number five, find the thing that you've been dancing since the age of 2. Okay? Art and music, all of that has been added. She's now 22 years old, and that's where she finds her peace. So when her anxiety is up, she goes to that art form. Okay? Number 6, seek professional help. Professional help in terms of therapists, professional help in terms of clinicians, professional help in terms of peer groups and support groups. My child is autistic, and there's a full, what I call, boy club. So we have speech therapy, occupational therapy, all of the things, OT, PT, everything, and ABA. All right. So he has that behavior therapy 12 hours a week so he can get adjusted as he grows and acquires more life experiences. Why is that important? Because the average teacher will say he has a behavior problem. The average teacher, so remember me talking about mediocrity, the average teacher will assume something is wrong with my child when it's everything right. He's just different. He learns different. He processes different. He tends to process out loud. So, as an autistic child, for him, that's normal. For maybe other people in the universe, they may not get it. But again, having those experts give you that documentation and that endorsement by way of an IEP, an individualized education plan for your child, is important. He will have it his entire life, because what that will do is separate him from his class, yes, but it also will give him the supports that he needs. I did that for all three of my children. So they were able to get extra time on exams, a quiet space to go and complete work, and sometimes time out of the classroom to calm their bodies, calm their minds, and be ready to engage in the class again. So without an IEP or 504, all three of my children could have been demoted in some way, and really could have been socially harmed and mentally hurt. So it's important for you to get those supports. And just because, I will say it, just because your blank, fill in the blank person, wise counsel, has some ideas about it, if they do not have the credentials, I want you to rely on those with the actual credentials, plus your lived experiences. That's number 6. Number 7, plan your respite time. For me, with 3 neurodivergent children, I literally schedule time every day to be by myself. And I let the kids know, so it's now part of our family ritual. All right, that is important because you have to recharge. Out here advocating for your children inside the classroom, outside the classroom, in their social circles, in the community at large, in their jobs, it's exhausting. So I want you to be rested. Number 8 is to find a community, find your tribe. So find other neurodivergent children and parents of those children that you can connect to. Find it by way of Googling, finding groups on Facebook, YouTube videos, groups that meet up and do things together. Find the group. If there's not a tribe for you, create a tribe, okay? All right. Number 9 is document your journey as a parent. I'm doing it right here because what I found is the things that I learned can shorten another parent's ramp to get all the resources, and the anxiety can go to 0. I have a family who has taken their kid to get examined for occupational therapy, and they didn't know what it meant and why it was important. Occupational therapy for an autistic child helps them with their fine motor skills. It helps them with part of their language and writing, right? So you got your gross motor and your fine motor, because if there is a neurological difference, they may not even be able to hold a pen. So we're just trying to find the baseline for your child so that way they can have those wins in the future. All right? And documenting your journey helps the next family, because it's not about us. It's about all the neurodivergent children. It's about the teachers that are going to have your children in the class with them. It's about the other parents who need support from people like you who are like, am I alone? No, you're not. Okay. And then tip number 10 is celebrate your milestones, whatever your child does. Whatever you can celebrate, celebrate. If you have a child with no voice and they make a sound, you celebrate that sound. If your child has a mental breakthrough and is not depressed or down or anxious for 24 hours, celebrate it. Because the thing is, we must normalize neurodivergence because all of us are. We are now more educated in the spaces and not just medicating people. Do your research, find your tribe, and know that you are not alone. If there's anything I can do to help you, please let me know. Someone helped me. That's why I'm able to be a present mother for all three of my children in their respective seasons. All right? Be good to yourself and others. See you soon. Dawn Stone, also known as the Conflict Chick. And I just took you through 10 tips for parents who want to advocate for their neurodivergent children. All right? Difference is the difference. Don't ever forget it. Peace.